Hello and welcome to Newsroom Series. I'm Olumide Macaulay. Thank you for joining us. The Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, of the Central Bank of Nigeria has cut the benchmark interest rate by 50 basis points to 27%. The committee also reduces the cash reserve ratio, CRR, for commercial banks to 45%, while introducing a 75% CRR on non-TSA funds. In addition, the MPC adjusted the asymmetric corridor around the monetary policy rate to plus 250 and minus 250 basis points. These measures are aimed at strengthening monetary policy effectiveness and supporting financial system stability. CBN Governor Mr. Olayemi Cardoso says about 14 banks in the country have already met the new regulatory capital requirement, underscoring progress in the banking sector's resilience.
The committee's decision to lower the monetary policy rate was predicated on the sustained disinflation recorded in the past 5 months, projections of declining inflation for the rest of 2025, and the need to support economic recovery efforts. The MPC also adjusted the standing facilities corridor to improve the efficiency of the interbank market and strengthen monetary policy transmission. The committee further introduced a 75% CRR on non-TSA public sector deposits for enhanced liquidity management. Considerations. The MPC expressed satisfaction with the prevailing macroeconomic stability evidenced by the improvements in several indicators. These include the sustained disinflation, improved output growth, stable exchange rate, and robust external reserves. It particularly noted the increased momentum of disinflation in August 2025, being the highest in the past 5 months.
Strong indications have emerged that Senator Natasha Akpoti-Addo of the PDP, Kogi Central, may soon return to the Senate, as her office in Suite 205 in the Senate wing has been unsealed by the National Assembly today. The latest development effectively restores her access to the National Assembly complex, paving the way for her anticipated resumption of legislative duties. This is also coming days after the clerk to the National Assembly wrote her through the acting clerk to the National Assembly, Yahaya Danzaria, who notified her that a 6-month suspension subsists until the Court of Appeal delivers judgment in the suit she instituted against the Senate. Senator Akpoti-Addo, formerly chair of the Senate Committee on Diaspora and NGOs, was suspended for 6 months in March 2025. Her suspension followed allegations of misconduct after she publicly protested the reassignment of her seat by Senate President Godswill Akpabio on February the 20th, 2025. During the suspension, she was barred from all activities of the 10th Senate. And as we focus on the Northwest region, we start with Kaduna, where the state governor, Obasani, has flagged off a new set of road projects in Lere local government as part of his administration's ongoing push to improve infrastructure across the state. During the visit, Governor Sani welcomed a group of new members into the APC. He assured them of equal opportunities within the party, saying their defection further strengthens the ruling party's base in Kaduna State.
It's a day of celebration in Lere local government area of Kaduna State as Governor Uba Sani arrives to perform the groundbreaking of the long-awaited Kayarda Dang Alaji Road. Lere, an agrarian community like other parts of Kaduna State, has suffered neglect in infrastructure development by past administrations. But community leaders describe the new road project as a milestone, saying it will bring faster growth to the area.
Your Excellency, the love of the people for you is the reason for this crowd. You came home and you are home. About 17 roads are ongoing. We are grateful to God and happy you are here to commission these roads. We were happy when we heard the governor was visiting our community. We knew he was coming with something good.
For Governor Uba Sani, the flag-off of new roads in Lere and across Kaduna State shows his commitment to ensuring that all parts of the state benefit from infrastructure development, especially for the ease of transportation that will link communities.
This program focuses on building and upgrading critical infrastructure such as roads, water and sanitation systems, and energy supplies. By investing in these foundational elements, we aim to boost rural economies, create more opportunities for citizens, and support sustainable development for thriving rural communities.
Governor Sani also uses the occasion to welcome new members into the All Progressives Congress. The decampees from various opposition parties pledge their loyalty and support for his administration. With more communities benefiting from projects and political support growing, Governor Uba Sani's development drive in Kaduna State continues to gain momentum.
The Kaduna State Universal Basic Education Board has inaugurated a new anti-corruption and transparency unit to strengthen accountability and ensure openness in its operations. The inauguration ceremony took place at the Suburb Conference Hall with the chairman, Dr. Kabiru Magaji, leading the event.
The Kaduna State Universal Basic Education Board, in partnership with the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, inaugurates the Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit within the board. The unit is part of Governor Diko Rada's agenda to promote good governance, fight corruption, and strengthen transparency and accountability in both financial and administrative systems.
Doing a lot of things, including giving out contracts for construction and rehabilitation of schools. So also there are payments of trainings, payments of contractors, and other payments that is going on here. So having this unit in place will definitely help us in checkmating all of those processes.
That as a member of the anti-corruption.
6 members of the new Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit take an oath of allegiance, pledging to uphold transparency, accountability, and integrity in their duties. In a related development, a 2-day stakeholders dialogue and town hall meeting on the local government development plan ends in Katsina. The event focuses on promoting good governance through civic education and encouraging citizens to participate in budgeting and tackling implementation.
Looking at the recent pronouncement of the Supreme Court on local government autonomy, so we believe that if that financial autonomy is granted, there is need to strengthen accountability at the local government level.
There is a lot of significance, especially if you see the combination of the stakeholders of the workshop. There is legislative part from different local governments, especially the council leaders, and there is executives, especially the director admins from various local government in Kaduna State. At the same time, we have civil society organizations who are the pressure groups that we are expecting them to partake in pressurizing both the legislative and the executives in making sure that all these development plans for salvaging the local governments from poverty, insecurity, and unemployment are put into place and are well trained and aware of their duties and responsibilities to make Kaduna State great, especially at local level.
The initiative is designed to guide development across local government for the next 8 months, with stakeholders working closely to ensure successful implementation.
So, last year.
Legal practitioners across Nigeria have received training on how to effectively fight financial crime. The one-day forum, organized by the branches of the Nigerian Bar Association, brings together lawyers to strengthen efforts against illicit financial flows in the country. The discussion focuses on asset recovery and management, tackling money laundering, countering the financing of terrorism, and addressing proliferation. Our correspondent Nanchin Vincent reports.
It is a gathering of legal practitioners from across the country in Kano, where they converge to improve their knowledge on how to fight financial crimes that have plagued Nigeria for many years.
Financial professionals to disguise the origin of illicit funds.
The gathering focuses on training the trainers in basic anti-money laundering issues. The goal is for the participants to return to their states and conduct step-down trainings for their staff, while also equipping themselves against money laundering and terrorism financing cases.
We realize that there's a knowledge gap as regards to AML, that's anti-money laundering and countering of terrorism financing for legal practitioners. And this, amongst many, is an attempt to bridge that gap, the knowledge gap, try to make them understand the basics of what money laundering is, for them to understand their role.
The immediate past chairman of the Kano Anti-Corruption Commission, Muhuyi Magaji, explains that the theme for the workshop is timely. He stresses that the need for knowledge in combating terrorism financing, which continues to fuel Nigeria's security challenges, cannot be overemphasized.
The trainer workshop, and it's very, very important because it will step down the knowledge to all other lawyers to know that we have an obligation to the country. We have an obligation to support the country, to support the government and the institutions of fighting illicit financing through money laundering, corruption, and other sundry activities, drug trafficking, and what have you, as well as terrorism financing.
Legal practitioners agree that the knowledge shared during the workshop will strengthen their capacity in the fight against corruption and terrorism.
One thing that stood out for me as a lawyer, I believe the main objective is to uphold the integrity of the legal profession.
Most times there's always an alarm that goes off in your head. You just know something is not right. So we've learned the various steps to take, and I think we'll do very well in cascading it down to our members in Kaduna State.
We must ensure that the legal profession is never weaponized against the integrity of Nigeria's financial system.
Participants expressed optimism that the lessons learned will be useful not only in ensuring transparency in handling cases, but also in promoting an effective fight against terrorism financing and corruption across the country. From Kano Commercial City, Nanchin Vincent, Channels Television News.
Legal practitioners across Nigeria have received training on how to effectively fight financial crime. The one-day forum, organized by the branches of the Nigerian Bar Association, is bringing together lawyers to strengthen efforts against illicit financial flow in the country. The discussions focused on asset recovery and management, tackling money laundering, countering the financing of terrorism, and addressing proliferation. The United Nations Children's Fund's country representative, Mrs. Wafa Saeed, made the appeal at the visit to Kebbi State as the agency strengthened its partnership with Nigeria to address malnutrition and the out-of-school crisis.
The United Nations Children's Fund is committed to deepening its collaboration with Kebbi State, stressing that the state remains one of the key beneficiaries of its interventions in Nigeria. This marks the first official visit of UNICEF country representative Mrs. Wafa Sahid to Kebbi State since assuming office. She pledges that UNICEF will continue to support the state in critical sectors, especially in addressing the challenge of out-of-school children.
And for me, as having worked in other countries, I'm also very much encouraged by the capacities that Nigeria has. I think that is something very, very encouraging. And one of the areas is this area of addressing malnutrition among children. And I really want to commend the state for putting forward 761 million naira to be able to buy supplies for children, both for treatment and both for prevention. Yes.
The Deputy Governor of the state, Umar Tafida, appreciates UNICEF's long-standing support and assures that the state government will continue to sustain its partnership with the agency.
The support of UNICEF, to our people in Kebbi State has been very instrumental in protecting our children and, from preventable diseases. And and recommend your commitment in improving the lives of our people.
As part of our visit, Mrs. Sayed officially launches vaccine cold boxes and other essential supplies donated by UNICEF to the Kebbi Central Medical Store in Benin, Kebbi.
I think what is expected from this support, I would say, to the government here in Kebbi is to really strengthen efforts to immunize children. Immunization is very important. We know that children, when they are immunized, 6 out of the 10 killer diseases of children are addressed. So this is something very important to strengthen the effort to ensure that every child has full immunization coverage.
The visit underscores the joint resolve of UNICEF and the Kebbi State government to continue working together in saving the lives of children across the state.
The Nigerian Export Promotion Council, the NEPC, is urging residents of Kebbi State to take advantage of the state's strategic position for export opportunities. Kebbi, which shares borders with 2 countries, is seen as a gateway for boosting non-oil export. Speaking at a capacity-building program in Birnin, Kebbi, the state coordinator of the NEPC, Mohammed Sirajo, highlighted the council that it has created an export-inclusive division to help vulnerable groups access non-oil export opportunities.
Export opportunities in Kebbi State is one of the greatest assets of the state. Kebbi borders both Benin and Niger Republic. Virtually everything consumed in these countries and other ECOWAS countries passes through Kebbi State, because Kebbi State is the closest state that you can get to ECOWAS countries. So billions of naira worth of goods are exported through Kebbi State. Although it is informal, the council, through the Office of the Executive Director / CEO, has a program. We call it Mainstreaming of Informal Export Trade, and Kebbi is the hub.
The executive director of the Women's Rights Initiative, Layatu Bamayi, adds that many people with disabilities are already involved in different trade. She says this inspired their partnership with the NEPC to enlighten members on how to benefit from the export sector.
The idea of coming together with the Export Promotion Council of Nigeria is because we are trying to make the vulnerable, as in the persons with disability, the sense of belonging, and we want to make them understand that they can do better, they can do like others. Being them disabled will not stop there. they can do other things. Like you can see, we have some display of some materials that we trend some of them. We have Vaseline, we have shampoo, we have necklaces, we have handbags, bead making that they can do.
The newly crowned king of Yoruba community in Zamfara State, Alhaji Mansur Bello, is calling on resident communities across Zamfara State to unite and support the government in its quest to end banditry and foster development in the state. He made the call while speaking with Channels Television shortly after his coronation in Gusau, the state capital. He also emphasized that without unity and oneness, there will be no meaningful development in the state. The monarch assured the government and the people of his contribution to the growth and development of Zamfara State.
I want everybody to be cooperative together. Without cooperative, there is no progress. With cooperate, we will reach where we don't expect it. So I'm praying to Almighty Allah to make a unity between each other. And I'm thanking God for this position He gave it to me. I will try to, have been doing it before now. And with this position that I got, I will try my own best to be cooperate with government to see the progress in Zamfara, inshallah.
The Kano State government have approved the establishment of a mobilization task force on voter registration in line with the Independent National Electoral Commission's directive for the nationwide continuous voter registration exercise. The initiative is designed to mobilize and encourage citizens across Kano to fully participate in the registration process with the goal of ensuring maximum success. Our correspondent Abubakar Saliu takes a look at how the exercise is making progress in the state.
Seated here at the Kano State headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Kano, are some residents waiting for the biometric capture in the ongoing continuous voters registration exercise.
Very high. Yes. Added one more machine. Yeah. Yes, that's good.
As of 2023, Nigeria had approximately 93.5 million registered voters. However, more recent data shows the number has risen to around 96.2 million. As of August 31st, 2025, 2.5 million Nigerians pre-registered online within the first 2 weeks of the continuous voters registration exercise. 72,274 individuals completed registration in person within the first 5 days of the exercise.
Good, because some of my colleagues complain online.
In its bid to ramp up the numbers, the Kano State government has set up a mobilization task force headed by the State Commissioner for Information.
We have had enough and very intensive deliberations on how best we can implement some of the strategy we have designed as far as the work of these committees is concerned. And we have reached a consensus and a resolution as far as their own support, as far as their own participation in the process is concerned. And they have really pledged their own support, and they have committed to support the whole process to ensure that Kano is repositioned and to ensure that Kano retains or assume its rightful position as far as the voters registration is concerned in this Kano. We were not really happy with what happened in the first week from 18th to 24th of this month as far as the registration exercise of the voters registration is concerned. So we want to change the narrative, and we want to make sure that we are on the top and we are the one leading.
The Independent National Electoral Commission office in Kano provides insight into the registration process while highlighting some challenges.
The second day, there were small glitches here and there, largely because of network and it's national. But by 12, that had been resolved, and since then we never had any serious problem. In Kano, I can tell you we don't have much of such challenges.
Representatives of civil society groups are also mobilizing civic participation for the process.
I would like to use this opportunity to call on the elected members, political leaders,
When you talk about ward, the councillor is there. When you talk about local government chairman is there. At the state level, we have members of the House of Assembly. At the national level, members of the House of Representatives are there. We also have the distinguished senators. Then they should now take it upon them, a responsibility to their constituencies and the members that voted for them into power to mobilize them.
Kano State government anticipates all the stakeholders in the mobilization task force to join hands towards achieving the desired goal of getting more citizens to participate in the exercise. Abubakar Salihu, Channels Television News.
Graduated 400 youth from a special training program on hybrid date palm production and processing, designed to create jobs, strengthen agriculture, and support economic diversification.
In Jigawa, the date palm is no longer just a fruit for the table. It is fast becoming a tool for job creation and environmental restoration. 400 youth have been trained to grow and process hybrid date palms, with more than 2,000 expected to join in the coming batches.
The program we are launching today is a unique, being a multi-pronged initiative with multiple outcomes across several sectors of the state economy, with a long-lasting impact on socio-economic well-being of our people and the prosperity of Jigawa State. After almost a year of diligent preparations and careful planning, I'm happy today that we are today launching the Jigawa State Date Farm Development Program. As conceived, the Date Farm Development Program will involve the propagation and planting of over 200,000 date palm trees seedling across 2,084 date palm clusters covering 1,042 hectares in some selected local government areas across the state.
Experts say each tree can produce over 70 kilos, generating millions of naira monthly if properly managed.
And if you ask me, it's a gold. I can call it a desert gold. That means that if you plant one tree of date palm, you can be able to generate over 100, 150 to 200,000 naira for that.
But the value goes beyond the economy. Date palm trees help fight desert encroachment, improve the soil, and store carbon, making them a natural ally against climate change.
I firmly believe in the long run, the two programs will complement each other to create huge benefit for the economy of Jigawa State and Nigeria as a whole, while also building environmental resilience at the concerned states.
At the Shuari market, the impact is already being felt. Vendors say demand for local dates is rising as consumers prefer them organic and free from preservatives.
The business is very, very good for us, and we have been engaged ourselves in doing such business, and also we really benefit a lot, even though we have encountered so many challenges. But that's how business is going. Sometimes you may gain, sometimes you may lose.
With over 1,000 hectares set aside for the project, Jigawa is planting not just trees, but hope for jobs.
That's it on Newsroom series today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Olumide Macaulay.